The Insta360 Luna Ultra is basically the new king of pocket cameras. Keep in mind, I paid for this thing out of pocket from Amazon, paid it in cash. So this is not a sponsored video. The camera was not sent to me by Insta360. I paid for it myself. In the time that I've been using this camera, I've come to discover some annoyances, some things that I wish this camera had. I'm recording with my DJI Pocket 3 right now, so there's a lot of features that camera has that I didn't initially see in this, and there were some quirks that I had to get around. And I've been watching a lot of videos, and all these YouTubers that even had a month of use with the camera still did not talk about. So here are the top 10 tips and tricks that I have not seen in any video, and I'm here to show it to you guys. Maybe it could help you out if you do end up getting the camera, or if you watch somebody's video and they complain about a certain feature. Then in this camera right here, in this video right here, I'm gonna show you guys how to get around those quirks. So it's really it's really 10, even though the thumbnail says top 5. It's really 10, but I feel like the number 5, the top 5 are the must know, and then the rest of them are just, something that you could know. All right, starting with number 1. So one of my favorite thing about using the Pocket 3, which is what I'm using right now, is that I have like a favorite settings. So every time I go into my camera, or every time I want to do an overhead shot, I have some specific settings that I toggle on, and all my presets, like my color temperature, my white balance, my ISO, my exposure, everything is already preset into that profile, and it automatically loads once I click on it. With this camera right here, it's so new, it doesn't have that feature. So every time, for example, someone like me who consistently shoots in the same lighting, and I want the same color temperature, the same presets, right now you have to go into the camera settings and change those settings every single time. That is annoying, and that is such a work. Well, I found a workaround for it. So the way you can do it is the way to have a profile set. That way, every time you want to use a specific settings, or you're shooting in a specific scenario, you just click on one button and it just loads everything back up. The way that I found to do is, so this is the screen of the Luna Ultra, right? You go into this section right here. You see the part, first of all, it's going to be basic. You want to have Pro on. Once you go into Pro, you see this part that says profile. You're going to click on profile, and then you see this part that says the plus sign. You're going to click on plus. Now what are you doing? Well, you're going to be scanning a profile. So here's the thing. For example, here I already have a profile set, right? What you want to do is, actually, let me go back. You want to set all the settings that you like to use for that specific scenario. Your white balance, your ISO, your aperture, your color, whatever it is, your iLog or whatever filter, everything. Just set it up, and then once you set it up, take a picture or record a small clip. Once you record a small clip, so for example, I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna click on the you see it has all the settings in here under this video. You see this part that says color share? You're gonna click on color share, and then you're gonna share it to your phone. So now the entire profile for that video, all your preset, is gonna be shared into something that looks like this, right? So once you have this on your phone, you want to go to this QR code scanner right here. You want to swipe, and you want to go to this profile, and you want to click on this plus sign. Once you click on that plus sign, now what you're going to do is you're going to scan this barcode right here. I hope you guys can see it. You see that? Now that profile has been added. So now it's on profile 2. So what this means is that every single time I go to profile 2, this profile 1 is my Leica, which is something that I have. So every single time I go to this profile right here, Now it has all my settings. So this is it right here. This is the profile, and just like that. And now all my settings is there the way I want it to be. So that is the way to do a quick settings profile. On the DJI is just you customize, you customize the settings. So you, every time you go into the settings, you just click on it. But with this is the workaround that you have to do. So once again, you go to this pro right here. You're gonna click on this part right here, and then you can change. So let me go back to the Leica profile, and now it has a completely different look, completely different settings, including ISO, aperture, and all that stuff. So anytime you have a specific profile that you preset, you just need to save it and export it, and then upload it back using that plus sign. So that's how you do profiles. I feel I could not find this on any video that I've watched, and I'm glad I was able to come across it. All right, that's a long one. That's the longest one, I promise. The second one is, the second tips I have for you guys is a microphone. So this is the this is the Insta360 Mic Air, which is a very tiny microphone. Now I'm sure in all those videos you've been seeing a lot of people promote the mic, the Insta360 Mic Pro, which is the microphone with the e-ink display. I don't have that. I couldn't afford to buy all this stuff, so I ended up just using the one that I already had. I already have this because I used it with my my Go Ultra. But anyway, it turns out that this microphone also works with this camera. All you have to do is update the firmware, and it connects wirelessly. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna turn it on right now so you guys can see. You see that? As soon as I turn this on, the microphone is showing the bar. Like, that is amazing, right? And this is so much more discreet compared to the big Mic Pro. The big Mic Pro, yes, it has 32-bit float. You can record on it, but man, if you already have this, it's fine. I have like a ton of different other microphones that can record 32-bit float. I don't need to buy the Mic Pro because it's a bit more pricey, and for me it's just bigger. I don't want that size. I like this one right here. So if you already have this, you can just use this. And even if you don't already have this is like $20 or $30, that you can easily buy off Amazon and connect it to it. Once again, as you guys can see, it does work with this system right here. Now, even if you only have a plug-in microphone and you don't have one of these ones right here that can wirelessly connect to it, you can also use any microphone that has a USB-C plug. Number 3 is the gimbal lock. So right now, wherever I turn the camera, that's where it goes. The head follows my movement. But if I want to quickly lock it, all I have to do is double tap this, and now it is locked. So it doesn't matter how I tilt it, that view that I see is completely locked. To unrelease it, I just tap this again, and it says gimbal exit lock mode. Now I can move and pan and tilt and all that stuff. How did I do that? Well, let me turn this microphone off first. The way I did that was by going into this settings right here. You see this part that says custom buttons. You go to custom buttons and the right button, and then I went, and for my single press I did a EV adjustment, and for my double click I did lock and unlock gimbal direction. So that is what you need to do if you want to have that. And of course you can also customize the second button. What I would like for Insta360 to come up with would be a way to actually switch profiles presets with these buttons right here, or use this button to quickly adjust things like your ISO instead of just EV. So you need to be able to, so you'll be able to adjust maybe frame rates, or you should just give us the full settings of the device to be able to use with this customizable button right here. Number 4, so the camera has these 2 lenses right here, which is amazing. However, If you are shooting very early in the morning or late at night or the temperatures drop, the lens can actually fog up. Well, guess what? Insta360 thought about that. So, if the lens happens to fog up, there is a settings that you can actually use to defog the lens. So all you gotta do is go into the settings. So go into the settings, and you're gonna keep scrolling. You see this part right here that says lens defog? Just tap on that lens defog, and that dew or whatever fog, it should, it should kind of like clear away in the video. So it's not gonna be the fog is not gonna impact your video that much. So that is really nice to have. So that's number 4. Number 5 is a little bit of a, so this is the normal field of view of the glass. This is normal field of view that you get. Sometimes you just want that a little bit wider. Well, it turns out that if you actually go here and you see this part that says breathing compensation, if you turn that off, the lens actually widens a little bit. I don't know if you guys can see it. Once again, turn it on. See how it crops in? If you turn it off, it widens a little bit. So once again, on, off. So it gives you a little bit more field of view. Obviously, the reason for breathing compensation is sometimes when the camera is trying to focus, it can be moving a little bit too much. If you turn that on, it's gonna reduce that. But if you don't mind, or if you're not in a situation where that's happening and you just want a little bit of that field of view, you can turn that off, and that will give you a little bit of a wider aspect ratio. Number 6. So once again, the 6 to 10 is where things are just more like walk-arounds or just random. So number 6, right now the Insta360 Luma Ultra doesn't have ND filters available in stock. If you want any ND filter, you'd have to wait a couple months, because the few that they have is out of stock, and I don't know, but you're not gonna be able to get any ND filters. There are a lot of YouTubers that they don't even have ND filters, let alone some of us that are consumers. In the meantime, if you happen to have the Pocket 3 or something like that uses magnetic ND filters, guess what? They would actually temporarily work with this. And I have already tried it, and I used it outdoors, right? So the Luma Ultra has, maybe I should just turn the camera off. Okay, the Luma Ultra has this lens option, right? Guess what? This is also magnetic. Basically, Insta360 copied the heck out of DJI. Everything that DJI did with the Pocket series, the Luma is now doing. But anyway, so you take any one of your DJI Pocket 3 lenses or filters, you simply put it there, and look at that. And just like that, it magnetizes onto it. Now, it looks funky and wonky, but trust me, you're not going to see any of that border when you are outdoor filming. It actually works. It looks weird, but it's magnetic. Like I said, it's magnetic, and it actually works. And guess what? Now, obviously, you're not going to be able to get it on both lenses, but guess what else? If you happen to have DJI's wide-angle lens, guess what? You can also use it as well. Now, this is a little bit weirder, and I don't know how well it will work. But once again, as you guys can see, it actually works. It magnetizes to the lens. So it is a temporary solution that you can use, that you can make use of if you don't have the ND filters from Insta360 just yet. And once again, like I said, they copied the heck out of DJI. This thing can also magnetize into their case like that. I mean, look at it. Just how much copying did they do? Wide angle lens, black mist filter, black mist filter. Like underneath this, it says black mist filter. Like, I don't even know, is this legal? Because they copied the heck out of like everything that the DJI does. The Insta360 now does it, but they do it better. But anyway, I guess if you're gonna copy, you might as well do it right and do it better. Number 7 is a feature that is built into the camera that I feel like it's you should probably know. So my Pocket 3, right, is pretty bright, but it does not have automatic brightness. By default, this thing's automatic brightness is not even on. If you go here, you see the brightness settings. If you go here, right, it looks like, so they have it right here. By default, it's not on, right? If you see this A, you would think it's on, but it's not on. You have to click on it. Once you click on it, now it's on. And then you see this A, and now it can actually automatically adjust the brightness for you, which can tremendously help reduce your battery consumptions when you're inside, when you're indoors, and when you're outdoors. You don't have to worry about increasing the brightness, it just automatically increases. Number 8 is mic mode. So we already know by now that it's the number one thing everybody's been talking about is the fact that you can use this as an external screen, and you can use this, with as a microphone. You can switch it right here. But what happens if you forget to click on it, right? Okay, so that disappears. Now you don't have the option to use this as a microphone because you missed your opportunity. Well, all hope is not lost. All you got is go here. Let me just put it because it's easier. So all you gotta do is go here into the see this part that says audio settings. So here, now you can choose between the built-in microphone or the microphone on this. So that will give you the option to choose between that. And then for sound effects, basically is just giving you the option to choose how you want to record, right? If you're typically recording from behind the camera, I would say you should probably do the front and rear. But if you're typically walking around or you're moving around a lot, then you might want to put in an omnidirectional. And it also has wind noise reduction. What I like about this is it's not consistently on, it's automatic. So it can determine based on the noise level if it should have the wind noise reduction high, low. So I do like that on. Typically I'm using an external microphone anyways, but if I'm not using that external microphone, I like the fact that it has that option. So the microphone and sound is number 8 and 9, and number 10 is your SD card. So if you go into this your quick menu, you swipe to the left, from here you can choose between the internal and the external SD card that you want to use. I would suggest always using your external SD card for 2 reasons. One, if it gets filled, you can easily transfer it. 2 is if you have recording on your internal and you happen to damage your camera, now all your files are lost, or you'd have to wait till Insta360 fixes the camera, and hopefully you can retrieve some of your data. This right here should only be used as an emergency, and I'm so glad I have it because there's been times where I left my SD card in the computer, and when I went outdoors, I realized that I didn't have my SD card in my Pocket 3. So I ended up having to record on my cell phone, which is a much lower quality compared to the Pocket 3. Anyway, guys, these are my top 5 tips and tricks, and then with the 5 additional, so I guess you can say top 10 tips and tricks. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to be having a video comparison of the Pocket 3 as well as the Luma Ultra, and I'm also gonna do a comparison of the Luma Ultra versus the Go Ultra. But anyway, if you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. I truly appreciate everyone that's been supporting me so far. Thank you guys for watching. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.